Just be out with us to Bacalar, Mexico. It is starting to be a trending destination, so we want to do a walking tour of the central part of Bacalar. And along the way, we'll tell you what Bacalar has to offer and what it feels like to stay here in Bacalar. Just be out with us. Bacalar is known for the Lake Bacalar. It is a really large lake, 44 kilometers in length and 2 kilometers in width.
Which is what you're seeing behind Irina right now.
And this lake has 7 different colors. It's actually one of the nicknames of this lake. Right now you can't see much of the colors because it's gloomy and overcast, but we still decided to do this tour for you. So most people, when they come here, there is no beach, there is no sea, no Caribbean Sea, it's only the lake. So most people who come here, they just have a vacation here on the lake. And as you can see, there are a lot of piers from pretty much everywhere. So what people do is actually they come hang out on the pier. They actually lay out right on the pier. There are swings and hammocks right in the water. And of course, there are lots of different boats. The most popular tour here for Lake Bacalar is to go around Lake Bacalar on a boat. And we have created a complete video for you as well, so you can see what that tour looks like. The water here in the lake is super clear. It is the bottom of the lake is limestone, so that's why the water is really clear. It's not much fishes that you can see here, so it's not really that good for snorkeling, but for swimming and just relaxing, it is perfect.
And of course, all the different colors of the lake represent how deep it actually is. Right now, we're on one of the piers for this restaurant. It's called Catch. We've eaten here several times. The food is decent, I would say. They do have a live DJ majority of the time. Supposedly, he's a popular DJ here. So he'd be DJing here, and there's TV so you can watch games. So it's really nice. You can come here and you can actually just walk out there, and people, whether or not you come to the restaurant or not, you can just come through the restaurant and go out there. People just go for swims. They hang out on the hammocks, on the swings.
And there are also public piers that you can go out and hang out, and they are much larger. And a lot of Airbnbs that are located right on the water, they all have their own piers where you can go swimming or just standing or hang out. And all the hotels that are located on the water also have their own piers.
Now we're actually on the side of Catch Restaurant. There's Catch Restaurant there. They're not open as yet because at the time we're shooting this, it's kind of early in the morning. But here in this area, this is where we actually booked our tour. And one of these boats was the boats we took. And then they basically just go to the pier. They dock at the pier from here, and then they load on the passengers. To go out on the tour costs 250 pesos per person. That's the cheapest tour you can get.
There are also different tour types, and you can rent out kayaks, paddle boards, jet skis. There are catamarans, sailboats, pontoons. So it depends what type of tour that you want to get on this.
And you see these guys out here, they're selling the tours. Right? You guys do the boat tours, right? There it is. So when you come to Bacalar, go see these guys, and they'll take you out on the tour in the lagoon. These guys are pretty much everywhere. This obviously is the main area. Now we're approaching the park, and there's also a historical fort, yes.
Yeah, it is an 18th century fort, and it is a piracy museum, and it also has ancient artifacts. And to get in, it's $5 or 100 pesos, but we're not really museum people, so we decided not to go.
And Bacalar, we're actually in the center of Bacalar. As you can see, the sign is coming up, Bacalar. Whenever you see these signs, usually signifies you are in the center of the town. It is a predominantly Spanish-speaking town. Most of the locals here really don't speak much English.
They speak just a little bit. They know few words here and there, so that would be enough to communicate. And some restaurants don't even offer English menus.
We highly recommend you brush up on your Spanish when coming here, or use some type of app, because you will find yourself struggling to communicate.
But maybe in a few years, this area is developing. This town is developing, and a lot of people also call it upcoming Tulum, because it did remind us of Tulum right away. As soon as we came, there are a lot of hipster people and a lot of spiritual people. There are yoga classes here, so it's kind of like an upcoming Tulum.
So this is the park here at the Central. When we got here, as you can see, construction is going on. They're laying bricks, brand new bricks down. The park is looking new, really nice. All these plants, they're just planted. When we got here a few days ago, these plants weren't even here, so they're planting it. And of course, right across, you have the fort, where you can see all the cannons. It's really pretty, and it overlooks, you'll see some people in there. So as Irina mentioned, you have to pay to get in there, and the booth is actually right down there behind that red vehicle. Well, actually that white building there, that's where you would pay to get into the fort. As you can see, there's another tour booth. So you'll see these tours, because here in Bacalar, that is probably the primary thing to do, right? Like one of the main things to do is the Laguna tour.
For sure. Bacalar is located on the south part of Quintana Roo, and it is just 30 minutes away driving from Belize border, and about 20 minutes away from Chetumal, which is the very last city right next to the Belize border. And to get here to Bacalar, you can fly into Cancun and take Adio bus. It will take probably, I would say probably 6 hours on the bus. Or you can also fly in local airlines to Chetumal and take the 20-minute taxi, or again, take the bus to here.
So here's a restaurant. And down this alley right here is the hotel where we are staying, and it's called Asili.
Let's actually go inside so we can show you what the rooms looks like. Again, it's very simple. It doesn't even have any lobby area. There is this outdoor reception area. They do have water cooler here, so you can actually refill your water bottles, and it's really cool. Right across from it, or right next to it, it's actually a hostel. They do have a bar. Oh, actually they have wings here. You can take your Instagram photos. Welcome to Bacalar. And this bar is only open in the evening. Right now it's all blocked off. And as you can see, it is right next to the fort and right next to the lake. So the location is really prime. So if you stay in a couple of days, it's actually a decent option. Okay, so this room is available. We have exactly the same room. It has 2 queen-size beds. And this room has an AC and a ceiling fan. And the bathroom is really small. And upstairs, they also have a room with a king size bed. Here you go. So this room is a little bit bigger. It has just one king size bed, AC, ceiling fan. This room has a coffee maker and a small table, and it also has a small balcony. This balcony has a view of the hostel that is right next to it, but the next room actually has a partial lake view. So it's not a bad option for a few days. Let us know in the comments, would you stay here? And now let's continue with our tour. It's a basic boutique hotel. We were not planning to actually stay in Bacalar as long as we did, but we kept extending it, and we're gonna tell you why in our live video, and we will leave the link in the description below.
And this restaurant that we just passed, we actually ate here as well. And again, the food is decent. So as we're passing, we're walking you through the town, the center of Bacalar. We're going to tell you the different places we've eaten and kind of like the experience we've had eating there. Overall, though, in general, the food here is
all right. I would
just
say
average
nothing
at
impressive.
best.
We did not like any place in particular to recommend you. Like all the food that we ate was like, okay, we just yeah, just to
Like
something
we
to
were
fill
looking
you.
forward to breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It was different place to eat.
So we're on the other side of the park. Again, they happen to do complete renovations of the park
Yeah,
right
so
now.
that's all dirt here, and then they have to fill that all in with concrete slabs. So that's what they're doing now. They have their work cut
And
out
I
for
think
us.
here is the police station. And again, they are doing a lot of renovations here. There will be a lot more restaurants upcoming here, and I really actually like the vibe here. Throughout the day, there are musicians coming from one restaurant to the other restaurant and just play live music. It's really cool. There are a lot of artsy places, like where you can buy handmade art souvenirs or art, and a lot of cool shops and interesting things.
Shops, they have clothing. Super cool.
To stay here in town, obviously in the center, it's a little bit cheaper actually. Usually whenever you go to places in the center is more expensive, but here the central area is a little bit cheaper. The hotel that we book is right now we paying about $67 a night. There are also lots of hostels in this area.
Yeah, we just passed a few.
When I was personally trying to book Airbnbs in the central area, I didn't find anything looking to our standards. Most places are really small and really outdated. So a little bit better places you will find more along the lake, but again, we just wanted to be in the center. And also there are places not too far from Bacalar, more in the jungle, but it is much harder to get a taxi, and you do need a car or some type of scooter to get to town or to restaurants.
So these are some of the stores we were telling you about. So they have a lot of stuff for sale.
And a lot of handmade
stuff. Yep. So this place is Boutique Fifth Avenue. Again,
Right now
it's a
it's
lot
closed.
of designer stuff, like one-piece items you'll find.
And this is called Fifth Avenue. This is the main avenue here, and one place that we don't recommend is this La Quinta place. We came here for breakfast and we ordered 2 avocado toast with the egg on top of it, and it took over an hour for them to serve us the toast.
And at that, there were only about 6 people in the restaurant at that time. And yes, it was over an hour for just one slice of toast with a sunny side egg and a few avocado with just some few greens. That was it. So not understanding what that was.
This place, however, was pretty decent. It's called Anamura. See, you can see it's packed and for breakfast. This is actually the best place out of all the places that we have tried, and this is more of a healthier options here.
And we're gonna go down here. Yeah, we just had breakfast here this morning. We met this cool waiter here. He was telling us his travel experiences. There's always music playing. Sometimes you have locals, so there you go. You have locals coming in.
Oh yeah, and there is also an art store that comprises of 8 local designers that sell their own art here.
So there's the waiter we were referring to. It's really cool. I don't want to disturb him and say hi because he's busy. It's very crowded here, but as you can see, it's really crowded here. And even when we had breakfast just a couple hours ago, it was already crowded to that point. They do vegan stuff. It's really cool. And again, what you'll notice with a lot of these restaurants, even if you're like one of these little small, tiny restaurants, you will see local bands, whether groups of 2, 3, 4 or more, they just stand outside the restaurant and they start playing music.
And the music is actually really good.
And the music is really good, really talented musicians. And then they'll come around with their hat after they play a few songs, and then, you know, you can opt to tip them or not.
Yeah, overall, I think it's a really cool vibe here. It's pretty relaxed here, pretty relaxing here. There are a few people, few locals who come around and try to offer you to buy different things, but they're not pushy at all. They just come with their souvenirs or hats.
Yeah,
they
or
offer
phone
you,
suitcases and
yeah,
stuff
they
like that.
offer you a few things. You just say no, and they just keep moving.
Yeah.
And of course, at night, this town comes to life.
Yeah, it livens up for sure.
Again, there are a lot of places that play live music or DJs. It's a lot.
This way, there's really not much down there, just like some homes
yoga
under
place
construction. So now we're gonna cut down here, which is the 2nd Avenue.
This is not Second, it's 7th Avenue.
7th Avenue.
And on this avenue, you will find also some hostels and some hotels. There are just a few restaurants here and shops.
And as you can see, there is the tower, and that's where you're going to get your internet from. And speaking of internet,
the reason why we are not staying here longer than we planned is because the internet is not good here.
so as you can see, this is a bank, so you can get your transactions done. Here's your, this is the only bank here in Bacalar. This is your ATM. We've been here before. Just note that this ATM machine, well, right now it says it's temporary out of service, but just know that this ATM does not give you an option for English. So yeah, that's why I said you have to brush up on your Spanish when you get here. But when you go to the ATM, it's pretty much the standard buttons that you would press if it was English, like deposit, withdraw, checking, savings, and accepting the charge. So once you kind of figure out where those buttons are, you know kind of like what it is. Here's another cafe, really cool. And it's also a hotel, actually. When we first arrived, the cab driver dropped us off here, and we went in there and we asked for a room, and they said it was $100 a night. We don't know what it looks like because I think the rooms are behind, but it's pretty chic here, really cool. Another restaurant, some stores,
Fruit stands. To get around, you can rent bicycles or scooters here.
which is right here. Here's where you can rent bicycles or scooters. Right now it's closed. But another thing that you'll notice is that you'll see a lot of these white vehicles. Not this one that just passed, but this one here. This is a taxi. They are everywhere. You'll see a lot of them pass throughout this video. And you could just stand in the corner and catch a taxi to wherever it is you want to go.
But again, if you're staying here in a central area in Centro, you don't really need
A taxi. Everything is pretty much in walking distance that you would need as far as restaurants or shops or anything like that.
But anywhere in Bacalar, if you take a taxi, it would cost you 40 to 50 pesos, which is about $2 or 2.50.
Grocery store.
There are a lot of restaurants right on the water on the Laguna, and some restaurants here on the side streets, on Fifth Avenue, around the park. So it's actually a lot of different options for you to choose where to eat.
There's a pharmacy.
So as you can see, this 7th Avenue is less popular. Most people are on the 5th Avenue. And at night, right now it looks pretty empty, but at night, guys, there are a lot of people. You actually need to find your way to go around people. There are a lot of street food stands.
Yes, at a certain time, definitely like around what, 6 o'clock, they start coming out. So marcasitas, which is one of our favorite things here in Mexico, they come out at 6, and other different type of food carts you'll find. There's another taxi for you. So yes, as Irina mentioned, there's not that many stores, just a few stores, but along the way you'll see a lot of also homes and stuff on this avenue here.
The audio bus station arrives to the main highway, which is probably 5-minute taxi to central area.
One thing we did notice when coming here, there are, initially when I saw certain tourists, I thought they were Americans, but they turned out to be French. A lot of them are French, European, German, Netherlands. And I asked the waiter, there's a regular store, convenience store, 6, you'll find that a lot in Mexico. He did say that yes, there are a lot of French-speaking people. Like sometimes we go for breakfast in a restaurant, and everyone around us and all the tables, they're all French. So we found that kind of odd, but I guess maybe there's a season that they come or whatever.
This looks like a really nice restaurant that is open in the evening. We didn't have a chance to eat there, but it looks pretty fancy.
And it's one of the few places that I actually saw here. Well, the only place I know that actually, when Irina says fancy, they do have Italian food. They have tomahawk steak, which is a massive cut of steak. And yeah, we saw a few people in there. It's lit very beautifully in there. Really nice. So we want to show you what this place looks like.
This is Al Mahati Bacalar.
So just for the sake of reference, our hotel is right there. We basically just did a loop. We went up Fifth Avenue, we came towards, and then we came across, and now we're cutting back in, and then that brings us here.
So we had breakfast here. It was decent breakfast, okay, nothing special, but this is a really cool area. They have a lot of handmade stuff. It's like a market with a local stuff that you can buy. And it's so funny because when you have breakfast, they give you a little shopping bag with your receipt, and you pay on the way out here. It's a really interesting concept. But it's a really cool, trendy space. I like the vibe here.
Come here, you can get work done because they have tables, and also in the back they have a garden.
Hola. Hola. Buen día. ¿Mesa para dos? No. Okay, just have it.
So they have artwork. They're showing the lagoon, photos of the lagoon. As you can see, people are eating. The outdoor area is pretty cool. They have cool artwork on the walls here. Show you another one right here, which is really cool.
And they also have an outdoor area to eat.
As you can see, it's really cool.
Has a cool jungly feel.
Yeah, it's awesome. And look at this, they actually have like a little hut. Swings, you can go in. This is really cool. Check this out. You come in here and have your coffee. Really cool. Cool vibes here, for sure. And just like Belize, when you order your food here in Mexico, make sure you have patience because it does take a while for your food to come. So yeah, this is actually a store and a restaurant in one.
And they do have a really cute cat.
Gracias. And out of all the restaurants that we mentioned, this is another cool place. Now, it doesn't look like much here on, on camera, but trust me,
Or during the day.
yes, in the evening when the sun goes down, this place comes to life. Like this whole entire green area, they have all those chairs and benches. They put them out here. It's slammed here.
They have organic vegan ice cream here, and the design, you can see it's a really interesting design. That roof is made out of car parts.
Yeah, car hoods, and these are the Volkswagen hoods. Just a whole bunch of them layered together to form a roof. It's a really cool place. Again, typical of kind of like what you would find in Tulum. As we were mentioning, actually it goes back here too as well, which we didn't know. So as I was saying about the restaurants we ate here, pretty much one, which was the Anamora, where the waiter spoke English, even though he's originally from Argentina, he spoke enough Argentina where he's able to speak and communicate with us to English. Every other restaurant that we said that we have eaten, none of them spoke English, and it's not even kind of like they would make an attempt. Like it's funny to me, and I wanted to bring this to your attention really quickly. That's also an ice cream parlor here. They do all these different flavors of ice cream. Is that the tourists that are here, and I did mention that there are a lot of French, a lot of Europeans, they also speak broken English, but they're making an effort to actually communicate in the restaurants and speak Spanish. But it seems like the people, the locals who are here in the restaurants, they don't really try to communicate in English and try to speak English. They speak straight Spanish. So you have to be the one to initiate and basically conform to the Spanish speaking language. So again, make sure you brush up on your Spanish when coming here, or have some type of app to assist you, which is sometimes what we were using every now and again. So as you can see, we circled back around. We're back almost where we started from, across from the park. So we're going to walk across the street and show you a few restaurants in that end.
If you're enjoying this walking tour of Bacalar Central, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know if you want to see more videos like
and
this.
Be sure to click like and subscribe to our channel. We were traveling to Belize for 2 months previously, and we have an extensive list of videos from Belize. So if you haven't seen any of our Belize videos, we will leave the link to the playlist in the description below.
Also, we are on our way to Tulum within the next hour, so we decided to make this video.
Right
and
before we hop on the bus.
yes, and when we get to Tulum, if you guys like this video, then we're also going to do a walking tour of Tulum while we're there as well, because we know it's 2022 and things are crazy and things are a little bit different. So we want to show you guys what things look like by just kind of just walking around. So here, we wanted to show you, this is just a regular store where they sell items. And here, this taco place seems to be a very, very, very popular place. There's always people in here. Sometimes there's people in a line trying to get in. Irene and I ate there. We weren't fond of the place. The food was just average, so we didn't really understand why is it that so many people came here to eat or come here to eat. But it is a designated taco spot. So when you think of Mexico, you think tacos, and I think that's the big draw. But again, for us, the food was just really average. Nothing. We never came back, and we never would really come back here. So
And wouldn't recommend either.
yes. Again, a few stores. And then we're going to just turn here so we can show you a little bit more stores on this side. We were on that side of the street earlier. Cafe. So here at this location, they do crepes and other sweets. Here they do rolled ice cream rolls. Yep. And then there's other venues here as far as little food, different things, cappuccinos and stuff. And again, in the nighttime, this place really comes to life.
We enjoyed staying here in Bacalar,
Just for the few days that we were here.
and definitely recommend you to come and visit. But what I would do differently is maybe stay right on the lake, get an Airbnb or a hotel that is right on the lake versus in town. And don't forget to check out our tour of Lake Bacalar. We will leave the link right here.
And in the description. So as usual, thank you so much for watching and
Just be out with us.